An explosive meteorology event is sweeping across northwestern Ontario, as severe thunderstorm systems collide with nearly 200 active wildfires, 57 of which are burning out of control, creating an unpredictable dual threat for ground operations and local communities. An intense cold front sweeping through the region has triggered Environment and Climate Change Canada's high-impact orange-level thunderstorm warnings for critical fire corridors including Ignace, Upsala, English River, and Wabakimi Provincial Park. The score lines, tracking east-northeast at speeds of 40 to 45 km per hour, are generating destructive straight-line wind gusts reaching 90 to 110 km per hour, loony to toonie-sized hail up to 5 cm in diameter, and localized downpours between 15 and 50 mm. While the sudden deluge offers temporary thermal cooling and drops surface fuel moisture, meteorologists and fire behavior analysts emphasize that the high-velocity winds present an extreme risk of ember spotting, lifting burning debris kilometers ahead of established perimeters, and accelerating catastrophic fire growth across unburned boreal forest. Furthermore, the intense frequency of cloud-to-ground lightning from these storms threatens to ignite dozens of new holdover fires across moisture-starved soil, echoing recent patterns where cold front passages sparked immediate new ignitions. Crucial wildfire complexes, such as Thunder Bay 36 in Wabakimi Park, which has expanded to over 318,000 hectares, as well as Fort Frances 14, 55,000 hectares, and Fort Frances 15, 48,000 hectares, sit directly within the path of these high-impact storm cells. The environmental crisis has already forced mandatory evacuations across more than a dozen Nishnawbe-Aski Nation, NAN, First Nations, including Nemegississagigan, Collins, First Nation, Whites and First Nation, Lac La Croix, and Armstrong, with hundreds of residents displaced to regional evacuation hubs like Thunder Bay. On a broader atmospheric scale, the wildfire plume, previously a severe weather system featuring high-impact orange-level thunderstorm warnings, has swept across northwestern Ontario, directly intersecting with an active fire zone of nearly 200 wildfires that have scorched over 735,000 hectares across the province. Tracking eastward at 40 to 45 km per hour, the score lines deliver a volatile combination of localized downpours, 15 to 50 mm, heavy hail, and destructive wind gusts reaching 90 to 110 km per hour. While the rainfall provides temporary cooling to massive complexes, like the 318,000-hectare Thunder Bay 36 fire, intense straight-line winds pose an extreme risk of ember spotting, carrying burning debris miles ahead of active perimeters, while frequent lightning strikes threaten to spark new holdover ignitions across dry boreal forest beds. The escalating wildfire crisis has forced the mandatory evacuation of roughly 1,800 residents across more than a dozen remote First Nations, including Nemegississagigan, Collins, and Whitewater Lake First Nations, both of which suffered catastrophic structural destruction. Regionally, the massive smoke plumes triggered severe air quality health index warnings that briefly drove Toronto's pollution to the worst global levels, though the advancing cold front is clearing atmospheric haze in southern Ontario while dangerous air quality persists near host hubs like Thunder Bay. In response, Premier Doug Ford pledged unlimited emergency wildfire spending, the procurement of 11 new suppression aircraft, and the mobilization of interprovincial wildland firefighters from Alberta and Yukon to manage a historical Canadian fire season marked by over 3,600 blazes and 1.9 million hectares burned nationwide.